Counterpunch promo live in 3, 2, 1.
Once upon a time, they awoke to the concerted effort underway to dummy them down, to the forces working at every turn to water down human wherewithal. They stood, they rallied, they drew their line in the sand, vowing once and for all to scale their spines and mortal up. That was the day the tables turned, and the universe itself sat up and took notice.
Live from the Counterpunch Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com. If you're not going to mortal up, why not just stay in bed?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is not a drill.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good morning once again, and welcome to what is now the what I wanted to tell you yesterday. So maybe we'll just hop into that and say this is the way to go in terms of dealing with that. But we'll do a pared down open this morning. I want to get everyone's sense of what we want to talk about today, and then let you know. Yesterday I said I'm so excited. I can barely contain myself. I'm really, 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 really fired up about what the news I was going to share. Well, as fate would have it, we're going to postpone that announcement to tomorrow morning, and a couple different reasons why. One, because today I thought, oh, you know what? This is something that I really want to be able to talk about this morning, and I think we're going to need the full half hour to get through it. And just as importantly, we're putting the final, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. We're getting everything ready for our big announcement tomorrow morning. Probably one of the biggest announcements I've ever had here on the show. So we're fired up and ready for that, most certainly. So again, we're going to delay it one more day so that we can jump right in to this morning and what it is we want to talk about. All right, so the big breaking news is overnight that, well, everyone here in the house has the flu, right? Ultimately, that's the big breaking news. Everybody's sick, everyone running around, except not running around to school, but everyone just going nuts. So I've been thinking a little bit about the human immune system. All right. And then I've been thinking, I can never think about the human immune system without, as you know, thinking about the intellectual immune system. So it's your body's ability to thwart attackers at every level. Well, I think you have a biological immune system, right? And I also think you have an intellectual immune system. So that's what I wanted to talk about this morning. We'll get to lowlifes making headlines. That'll be the first thing we want to do. After we get to lowlifes making headlines, we'll go ahead and jump right in. Before we do that, don't forget, you're welcome to give us a call. If you're on the computer now and you're heading out and about, don't forget you can just hit your phone right on the QR code here, and that'll pull it right up on your phone so you can listen as you're busy getting out the door. Don't forget you can also call us 833-646-3877 or 833-MIND-UPS, just like push-ups, sit-ups, or pull-ups. You're welcome to give us a call to come right in here in the studio. And please don't forget you can also send us a text to that same number, right? So if you want to, I'm supposed to tell you, as I say every morning, that standard message rates may apply or this or that. But give us a call if you want, or give us a text if you want. We're also working out on having one clearinghouse, IPMNation.com. I believe it's called Chat, but as we get closer to that, I'll let you know what that's all about. But everyone, because I hear from people from Spotify, is put everyone into one feed as opposed to, just say go to IPMNation.com/chat. I believe you can listen live, and then you'll be able to comment there and interact with everyone else in the feed. All right, let's do this. Now that we've got that going, let's do this morning's low life making headlines. Easy for me to say, right? Here we go. Hot heads wrapped in thin skin covering brittle brains atop balsa wood spines. It's time for lowlifes making headlines. All right, so we're back. Lowlifes making headlines. Let me clear this out of the way. Someone said the other day, in the ultimate compliment to Wayne, someone said the other day, how many people does it take to produce that? And then if you could see, sometime I'll take a picture of how everything looks from this part, and you'll see, oh, why did you leave that the QR code up? And you'll see a lot of bells and whistles. But at any event, this morning, lowlifes making headlines. Here's the thing. I think you and I are being watered down. You know that. I think we're being softened, right? Working the ribs. You've heard it from boxing before, and you go, or, martial arts. You work the ribs, you get people to lower their defenses, right? Their defenses are up. You get people to lower their defenses to protect their ribs, and their jaw is wide open. So I started thinking a lot about this morning that your immune system. Now, let's just talk for a moment biological. Let's blend them. Let's say your biological and your intellectual immune system. They're both set to defend you. They're like your built-in bodyguard. I joke all the time about me being your cognitive bodyguard, right? But your immune system, both physical or physiological and philosophical, if you like that better, they're built to protect you. They're built to say, oh, no invaders here. No, don't even bring it into the paint. And I know you're thinking, wow, Brian, how did you blend together a basketball, a boxing, and a mixed martial art metaphor all at once? Because I clearly have no clue what I'm doing. But in any event, you have your physiological immune system and you have your philosophical immune system. But then it dawned on me, right, as I put up this morning over on Instagram, and we mentioned quickly in some of the other feeds around the way, what we're saying is that it's begging you, your philosophical and your physiological immune system, they're begging you to eat dirt. Right? Because that's what allows your immune system to be able to defend you. And if you're not accustomed to eating dirt, if you haven't had a chance to mix it up with any of the things in your environment that could be detrimental, your immune system takes the day off. It's like, I haven't been trained. What do you want? I got antibacterial soap. I'm not allowed to be triggered. I can't take offense. I'm too easy to lure away. So what I'm simply suggesting to you is that our immune systems are built to be offended, right? Our immune systems are built to be put through their paces. But when we have hand sanitizing soaps and no one's allowed to eat dirt and you got to wash everything 50 times and what is it, the 3-second rule? If something falls on the floor, I'm beginning to think if the 3-second rule, if something falls on the floor, pick it up and eat it. Your immune system, right? Your immune system is set to take care of yourself. And then if you look at, okay, great, philosophically, you don't want to let those, you need a safe zone. You need a cushion and maybe a teddy bear and some pins in case your diaper comes loose. All I'm suggesting is that your body or your mind, your body or your brain, your physiology or your philosophy will, never be in a position to defend itself with both of its hands tied behind its back. So now you say, okay, great, Bri, how do we untie the hands from behind its back? You expose it, right? Just like progressive adaptation we talk about all the time. If you want to build a muscle, right? Progressive adaptation. You test that muscle a little bit each time, and it grows stronger and stronger and stronger. But the lowlifes making headlines for this morning are all the hot heads wrapped in thin skin, all the brittle brains atop balsa wood spines running around going, oh, you can't say that. You can't do that. Don't put that in your mind. Don't put that in your mouth. But what happens? Then our immune systems are just beat to crap. We're beaten down. The immune system goes, I don't know. I missed this part of the class, right? I missed this part of the mastermind. Yeah, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but yeah, I was never trained to do this. And that's what happens to our physiological immune system with the hand sanitizers and whether you have a hand sanitizer or a hand sanitizer for your head. If you never let in contrary opinion, if you never let in any of the things that are allegedly adverse to your well-being, how can your immune system, physiological or philosophical, how can your immune system ever train? How can it ever prepare? Right? Well, in school, you had fire alarm drills, right? Why? Well, because you're preparing in the event of a fire. Or nowadays, unfortunately, in schools, you have active shooter drills. Well, why do we have those? To prepare for the chance that something bad would happen, we have to train. We have to prepare. Well, how can our immune systems train and prepare if we live in a bubble? How can our intellectual immune systems prepare if we live in that same kind of bubble where, oh, no, we can't let anybody say what they feel. We have a right to be protected. We have a right not to be. Oh, I shouldn't do that, right? With everything going on in my house, that's probably that's not a good precursor. But in any event, right? With all people go, oh, I don't want to be offended. I don't want to be triggered. I have very thin skin, right? I wear right. What happens? Your immune system will never be able to rise to your defense because you've handcuffed it. We've not given it an opportunity to rise and shine. Because we have to be protected from everything. No incoming stimulus is allowed in. Well, look what's happening to us as individuals and as a people. So I think there's a collective effort underway. Who knows? Not a conspiracy theorist, right? I don't know how that would work. If you wanted to be a conspiracy theorist, I don't know how that would work. But it seems to me there's a collective effort underway to soften up the human mind, to work the human rib cage so that you lower your defenses and all this crap can run in. Look at your political system. Look at our political system, our philosophical system. Doesn't matter where in the world you live. What if we're being dummied down? What if I'm right? What if we're being watered down? What if they're working our freaking ribs to get us to lower our defenses? Just something to think about. All right, let's go ahead and hop into the feed real quick. I'm, busy ranting and raving, running a little bit behind. Let me say good morning to Marcellus. Marcellus says, good morning, everyone. And to you as well, Marcellus. He says, chop block that flu. Oh, I'm bringing a counterpunch, all right. But, for me, Marcellus, with the BioPro and some of the other things that I do, I'm up and ready. I'm ready for, knock on wood. Let me find some wood here. Knock on wood, right? We don't want that to happen. But my question is, how do we chop block some of the philosophical flu? How do we chop block? How do we bring the counterpunch for all the different things that are coming at us? And I think they just want to dummy human beings down. They just want to water us down. They don't want you attached to your all-natural being. They don't want you attached to the power that comes when you remember who you freaking are. Just a thought. All right, let me say good morning to Ian. Still morning. Good morning, Ian. I saw a big thing this morning in the paper when I got up, the UK and chaos, the whole Brexit thing. So, Ian, if you want to be our crack reporter from overseas, let us know how everything's going there, what you think about that. That would be some great insight. Lee, good morning. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope everything's going well with the book sales. If you haven't yet, go over to leerowley.com. And you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. We're working now to be able to get an audio version of Lee's new book. So if you want a chance to learn, right? What's the best way to put it? If you want a chance to learn how to write so that people feel it, not read it. Who cares? People read it. Who cares? Blah, right? But if you want to learn how to write so that people feel your words, Lee's the guy you want to turn to. He's got a new book out, AIM, the Avatar Immersion Method. You'll want to check that out for sure. So, Lee, thank you for stopping by. And then Ian, I see Let me know how everything's going on. Are you guys ever going to get out of Brexit? I mean, it's not like you voted for it or anything, right? Yeah, didn't vote for it. All right, don't forget, give us a holler if you like. If you have a comment on this whole concept of a philosophical immune system or the physiological immune system, what do you think? Am I wrong? Are we being dummied down? Or am I letting it go to what's left of my head? 833-646-3877, 833-MIND-UPS. Give us a call, give us a text. Let us know what you think. All right. So another thing that I wanted to make mention of quickly this morning is that, so let's say that you and I are right. How can we bolster our immune system? How can we do that progressive adaptation? How can we get stronger? How can we regain our natural strength? And I think it's when we mortal up. Oh, you don't want to eat that chicken. It's been on the counter overnight. Whatever, eat it. Oh, you don't want to eat that dirt. I saw something, a New York Times article where one of the authors were going, look, if you're going to pick your nose, pick your nose. What are you going to do, right? Your immune system can handle it. It's like those, see those training things where people fall back and they go, okay, make sure you grab me. Wouldn't that be hysterical if I fell over right now and everything just kind of collapsed in around me, right? But it's that same thing, right? Your immune system's like, I got you. Will you just fall back, please? Take the leap. The vertigo is worth it. Let's do it. And the same thing. I saw another. Here's the thing. You just got to stop reading articles. That's all I'm saying. I saw another article now where they're having the classes at San Diego State University. Did you see this? And I'm sure it's happening all over the world because Ian's like, Brian, why do you keep focusing on everything? My friends from Australia, my friends from South America are like, why do you keep focusing on stuff there? Because it's happening worldwide. I just might be putting a little bit of an American spin on it, but it's happening everywhere else where, right, you look at the things that you think you voted for, the things that you want, but then you're being dummied down. You're being sold this fear. Maybe it's fear mongering. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're being lured away from your all natural being. I think that's it. Give me a call. Let me know. 833-646-MIND-UPS. Let me see. Facebook and YouTube. Okay, cool. Very much. And then also to our friends on Twitter. Let me say that if you're watching the live broadcast feed on Twitter, thank you so very much for joining us. And of course, my friends over at Spotify. Here's what I wanted to make mention, and I still can't figure. We'll figure it out. We'll have it ready to go for tomorrow morning. But we have a new and improved, a lighter. Right, we're getting ready for the swimming pool this summer, so it's a lighter version of the Open. Just for my friends that are like, yeah, it takes too long for you to get to Low Life's Making Headlines, which surprisingly enough is doing really great as a segment. Everyone's going, oh no, I really love those, those Low Life's Making Headlines comments. They're working out really well. All right, let's do this. We will be right back.
You're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy, because it's never too late to take your life back.
All right, never too late to take your life back. So how do we do that? How do we start? Same progressive adaptation that'll cause our immune system, right? It causes our immune system to rebuild itself. It's the same way, that progressive adaptation. So we let a little bit of it in, right? We can let a little bit of contrary opinion in. We can let other people's thoughts in. It's not going to wound us. We talk all the time about sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. I must have been out of the freaking country. Right? When I was little growing up, maybe you too. Good morning, Leanne. Nice to see your smile pop up. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. Ian says, good morning, Brian. Yes, more total chaos here. No way forward, it seems. Not enough time here to even scratch the surface. All right, Ian, well, I hope you're doing well and everyone else. It would just seem to me if the populace voted for it to go one way, then who are the politicians to reverse what the populace wants? And you're thinking, oh, Brian, that's just nuts. You can't have the people deciding. Those poor little humans, they don't know what's good for them. But then you look at it and you go, just when you think possible due to the low-life politicians. Ian, I think Ian just nominated a low-life making headlines contestant for tomorrow. Let us know what you think. And we're also starting a poll, speaking of let us know what you think. A friend of mine commented the other day in a grocery store, said, hey, you know what? Love the show, but did you ever think of having a poll so that people could vote? So we're looking to do that. But I see Ian jumping in even before we have it set up. The low-life politicians. Yes, absolutely. And I saw this yesterday, and I don't know, it doesn't matter what political party you're a fan of, but I saw that the Speaker of the House decided, oh, well, we're just not going to play like adults. So if the vice president is going to continue to hang out with the president, I don't know what he's thinking, right? If the vice president is going to continue to hang out with the president, I'm going to take the vice president's office away from him over on Capitol Hill. So I'm assuming the vice president here in the States has his own office with his name on the door, and Nancy Pelosi says, oh, no, I don't like you anymore. So I'm not going to take my ball and go home. I'm going to take your office and go home. Now, here's a guy with Secret Service protection, probably, second only to the big guy, right? Here's a guy with Secret Service protection. What is this, like a broom closet that goes in, sits back, puts his feet up in case he has to break the vote? But Nancy, I'll show him. I'll fix his wagon. I'll just evict him here. That's the mentality of the people that we're putting in charge. Maybe that's what Ian is trying to say. You've hit the nail on the head. Well, thank you, brother, very much. I appreciate it. So when we look at some of these people in charge, you got to be going, what are you talking about? How can these people be the ones, right? How can these people be the ones that are in charge? So what are you left to do? You're left to be in charge of yourself. You draw your own line in the sand when it comes to liberty, when it comes to freedom, when it comes to thinking your own thoughts, when it comes to bolstering your brain, when it comes to bolstering your immune system. It's on you, sister. It's on you, brother. It's on us to make sure that we're not letting these crazy people. Look at the people running for president here in the United States, from all parties. Look at it. You got to go, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's considered to be the best we have to offer? The best? Oh, well, then, maybe we'll just get some parents to bribe their kids into colleges so that we can get another crop of the very best people in this country, right? It's just crazy here. It's Meshuggah. I got to tell you, it's absolutely crazy. All right, let's do this because I don't want to run out of time, but let's get to this morning's early morning. Want the perfect way to jumpstart your brain, to prime your mind, to hone your heart and your head? Here's today's early morning meme. I didn't get a chance to pull it up. So if I could just hold here, here's what would have been on the screen if I could. We had a little power outage this morning. Here's what would have been on the screen if you look there now. But it says your immune system, not unlike your intellect, is begging you to eat some dirt. Your immune system, not unlike your intellect, is begging you to eat some dirt, right? And all we're saying is, look, you need a little bit of the infidel. You need a little bit of the infiltrators. You need a little bit of the craziness going on. You need to be able to let it in, because when we put ourselves up in these silos, we've proven the immune system doesn't like it either. Your philosophical or your physiological immune system. All right, I think I probably beat that point as much as as much as I can. Ian says so much for democracy. Well, it's nice to know, Ian, that democracy could withstand the trip across the pond. But yeah, I would say it's the same thing going on here. The same thing going on here as well. All right, so today, think about it. How can you eat some dirt? How can you eat some philosophical dirt? What is it that you can do to expose your immune system so tomorrow morning you're tougher than you were today? Because that's the key. Don't let them work your ribs. Don't let them water you down. Don't let them convince you that you're something less than what you ultimately are. And your all-natural being, if you go to fall backwards, your all-natural being will grab you. There's no two ways about it. And that's one of the reasons that I so thoroughly enjoy doing this show. And, a couple different things. For tomorrow's show, we're also going to be, I came up with this idea. I was over on Twitter yesterday, and a friend said to me, I'm going to read, do you have any books to suggest? And I thought, once you get your book, let me know. I got some extra time on my hands. I'll read the book for you, right? You can just buy the book. Let me know what it is. I'll get it, and then I'll read it to you. Good morning, Henry. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us, brother. Hope the writing is going well. I saw that you had an article over on on IPMNation.com. You were the inaugural. You were the maiden. You were the initial writer in the new focus that they have at IPMNation.com. So congratulations to that. It was nice to see your writing. Because I'm over on IPMNation.com. I go, wait a minute, I know that guy, Henry's picture. It's like was this big on the screen I was looking at. So it was nice to see you. Sorry I'm late. Yeah, sorry too, brother. I hope to be able to hang out a little later this morning. And maybe, Henry, maybe we could have you, if you're up tomorrow morning, have you call in, give us a little thumbnail of what's going on. And you and I can break the news, this big news that I have. And it's hard for me to sit on it. But the big news that we have, maybe we can break it together tomorrow if you're up at this hour. But good morning to you. Marcella says, all men are created equal with certain unalienable rights. Marcellus, I absolutely agree. And I would say that a part of those inalienable rights is to not have to stand there with your arms handcuffed, right? Not have to stand there and let your physiological or your philosophical immune system be berated. Oh, well, we need a safe zone. We need bubble boys and bubble girls. We need some hot cocoa. We need all these other things. Good morning to Laura. Laura, nice to see you again. Thank you for stopping by. All Natural Being. We're just talking this morning about what if they're working our ribs? What if the forces at B, right? I don't know if that sounds like enough of a conspiracy theory, but what if the forces at B are hell-bent on making sure that our defenses are lowered? Our immune systems are compromised to such a degree that we can't defend ourselves anymore. So we have to turn to them. Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, right? Our immune systems we can't put up with it anymore, physiologically or philosophically. But what happens is that they don't think we'll rise to the challenge. They don't think we'll draw our line in the sand. They don't believe that one day we'll go, I have had enough of you. And then you're going to rely on your own all-natural being, on your own immune system to go, yeah, I'm pretty much done with your crap. I'm going to eat some dirt because it's going to make me stronger if I do. Enough hand sanitizers for your hands and for your head. Enough living in a bubble. And I think what happens, good morning to you, Laura. I think what happens is we get so used to this that those abilities to stand and defend yourself, to stand and defend your family, to stand for what's right, those abilities, those natural abilities, if you will, they atrophy like any muscle in your body. You're going skiing, you break a leg. If you're like me, chances are pretty good you'll break some bone before you make the run, complete the run. You break a bone, you put it in a cast. Doctor goes, you're going to be in the cast for 6 weeks. You go, wow, 6 weeks. All right. It's a good thing I'm not left-handed or whatever, right? So you go, wow, 6 weeks, but then 6 weeks comes and goes, flies by like that. You go to cut, the doctor uses a soft, cuts the cast off, and then you look and your arm is atrophied to nothing. It's like, what happened to the muscle? You're looking over here at the right arm and you got some muscle and you can do some things, right? And then you look over here where you had the cast and it's just atrophied. Well, what if our ability to stand and draw the line in the sand is atrophied because we haven't bolstered our philosophical and we haven't bolstered our physiological immune systems? That's the question of the day. That's what we want to know, right? But the great news is you have the ability to do that. And with all the advances in neuroscience, we know now that, say, oh, well, I'm over 40. I'm having you don't even get to have a midlife crisis anymore. There's all kinds of people running around having a quarter-life crisis. Well, what if you get to whatever time frame crisis you're plotting on having for the day, and you go, you know what, enough BS, just enough crap. I'm done listening to it. I'm going to put my heart's highest priority top of the list. To hell with you, right? Now, I'm not saying that we just ignore everyone around us, except for like a 20-minute victory, right? Where you put your heart's highest priority top of the list, and you start once again to build your immune system. Physiological and philosophical. You build your immune system back to where it deserves to be, back to where you belong. It belongs in your life. And what if we use that as a goal? All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Sorry, I saw that and was up all night long with people sick, and it just made me think, you know what, we can be philosophically sick, and I think that's what's happening now. We can be physiologically sick, obviously, but we can remember that we don't have to let them work their ribs. We can stand, we can square our shoulders and say, I've had just about enough of you. All right, we're going to run. Thank you so very much for joining us. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with some really huge news. So if you get a chance, come on back by. Thank you for everyone for participating in our little shindig. Here we go. Welcome to Your Story Told Live. Wirecast is the award-winning production software for streaming and recording high-quality live video. Transform your computer into a television studio, switching between live camera inputs while mixing in your movies, music, audio, and slides for that creatively professional look and feel. Wirecast, because if you've got a powerful message, it deserves to be told live.